In Skill 6, we are going to look at some of the skills that we did first semester. So I'm going to go over these rather quickly. We're going to talk about absolute values and how to solve them. We're going to talk about function notation. We are going to talk about how to find the slope given any equation. I'm going to just talk a little bit about sequences. And finally, just review about solving quadratics. So hopefully you'll find that some of these are a review. So let's attack this first problem with solving for absolute values. So hopefully you remember that solving absolute value has two answers, and those two answers you get by setting the inside equal to a positive 6 and the inside equal to a negative 6. So I wouldn't show much more work than this. When I'm looking for answers, I would do the math and then double check if I have time. But that's all there is to solving absolute values. The next problem that we want to talk about is absolute value if we have more than one operation. So again, we want to set the inside equal to 21 and the inside equal to a negative 21. So negative 3x equals, looks like 12, so x would equal a negative 4. Subtract 9, negative 3x. Subtract 9, we get a negative 30, or x equals a positive 10. Function notation looks a little different, but basically what you have to remember is in function notation, instead of an equation being a y equals, it's in function notation. And this just simply says that if I want to find g of 5, wherever I see an x, I'm going to stick in a 5. So this would be 5 cubed plus 5 squared. And again, take out your calculator, punch. I know this is 125 and 25, so I would get a 150. And that's function notation. Now it is a little trickier when the inside of the parentheses might be a fraction or it might be a decimal. So if it's a decimal, if it's a fraction, what I would do is just change it to a decimal. And we know that a quarter is 0.25, and then just punch it out. Okay. Let me note that if it is a negative value, though, if it's f of negative 2, and the function is an x squared minus 2x, just be careful on our calculators when you stick in a negative 2, you have to put that inside parentheses. Now the harder problems on the ACT will not have number values, but they'll have like a variable. And again, how would we find the value of 3t minus 4 at this number? Well, what we do is wherever we see a t, we stick in whatever's inside of parentheses. And then we would just do that. If it's a number, we can punch it on our calculator. If it's a variable, then we'll have to do the math here. Minus 4, combine these two terms, and we would have an answer with a variable in it. So this is a trickier one on the ACT. For some of us, we'll just skip that one. For others, you'll want to try to work it out. Now you should be able to do problems 1 through 8 on the Skill 6 builder. And then when you're finished with the, you can come back and do 6b.